In this video, I'll just talk about the things that worked for me, especially as a beginner, amateur, aspiring filmmaker. My 2021, I really got to work on a lot of projects. Free projects, but also some that I got paid as well. Lots of short films, but even a few feature films that I had no idea I would be on in 2021. Like, actually, if you told me December 2020 that I would be doing all these projects in 2021, I would not have believed you. And I'm really happy with what I got to do in 2021. And I'll share some stories, some of the biggest lessons I learned on set, things that might help you. Like, just be aware of when you're on set, especially as a beginner. Like, if you don't have a lot of experience, and just stuff that I didn't learn when I was studying filmmaking in school, that I had to learn the hard way on sets. Maybe hopefully some of these lessons will make you a bit more professional. At least you'll have some confidence, going in, knowing with this knowledge in mind. I'm not saying I know everything about filmmaking. I would say 2021 was my first real year, like stepping out my comfort zone, especially, and just work on like real projects, real as in like not student movies, students, like stepping into like real projects. And I'll sort of elaborate more along the way. I'm not gonna name like specific titles or like name drop people and stuff like that, but I'll share some stories and stuff like that, some horror stories and some great stories where I got to learn some stuff. And I would say off just generally, I think I might have 5 things I'll talk about. Kind of have like a little list right here. Just these 5 topics that I'll go through. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I will have timestamps in the description box. So feel free to if you need to just only want to hear a specific thing, feel free to skip around the video. But we'll start with the first one. I would say, but let me just bring up some stuff first. I got to do, I think, about 16 different projects, maybe 17, in 2021. February, I got I got to be on a feature, which was really, really cool. But then you might be asking, oh, Morgan, how'd you get on a feature? One way to get jobs, honestly, it's knowing the right person, networking in a way. So if you're in school, talk to your classmates. Don't be in the back and just sit, attend class, and then you'll just leave. Actually, try to get to know your classmates, or at the very least, if you're not social, just work with people. If there's like an open spot, if someone needs a position to be filled up, ask them, volunteer to help them out. When you're in film school, for me, that's a safe window where you're allowed to fail, but you're failing safely. That's what I believe in. Some people might not believe it. But that's what I believe. Get messy, just play around, experiment. Don't. In the first day of class, you might think, oh, I want to be a director or a cinematographer. But you never know. You might find another position that you'll eventually like. That's what happened to me. I thought I was gonna be like a director or something, but I came out of my classes being known as like the sound guy, and I actually kind of like it. I like it. Being a sound recorder, a sound mixer, or a boom operator. I would say, especially in 2021, after working on all these different projects, I have so much respect for the position, for the sound department, because they get no love on set, and you're basically, I'll tell more. I have some more topics on why I think the sound position is such an amazing position to be in, and why it's also hard and underappreciated. But first, let me just get back to my original point. Like, in February I got to work on this feature, but as a PA, as a production assistant. But how I got this feature was because someone just called me or texted me like, hey, we're working on a feature in like a couple months. Do you want to help out? I'm like, well, sure. Or that person that I knew, I met him when I was studying filmmaking, and I worked on a project where I was a PA. This is a student project, And then like maybe like further down the line, once we finish that project, he called me up for another project, and then eventually I asked him like, why do you call me to help out? He says, oh, because you look like you want to be on set and you're reliable and you help out. And that's the thing, when you're working on these student films and stuff like that, or just any project, show that you want to be there. Work hard, you know. Maybe not, it might not always happen. You might be on a really bad project, but you know, put some effort and show that you want to be there. And then just talk to people when the time is appropriate. Sometimes there's people who talk too much, and then it's a bit of distraction, and then you might look bad in hindsight after the project's wrapped. But yeah, February, I got to work on that project. Got to do a bunch of stuff. Being a PA is super tough, not easy. Even though you're just an assistant, you're doing a lot of what I call dirty work that nobody really sees. But you're running around all over the place, all around town, just picking things up and doing like little runs and stuff like that. It might not mean much, but it's like these little things. And honestly, a great PA is super useful on set. I'm not saying what I did was valuable, but just if I'm on other sets and I'm not a PA, I'm like doing a sound or whatever, and there's a great PA. They're amazing. They do so much work. They're like the first people on set and the last people to leave once everyone's wrapped. I even have a story where a PA saved me, but I'll save that for later. Networking, that's so important. Just keep in touch with people. Show that you want to be there. Just focus on work. Whatever your job is, just focus on that. Don't worry about the big picture of things. I was a sound assistant on this project, and it was a pretty easily the most prolific project I've been on. Big project, lots of like all these locations are like booked for our projects, so like these restaurants and hotels and whatever, just for our project. It's so much, right? Such a big project compared to like student films. But the thing is, you have to have tunnel vision and don't worry about the big scope of things. Just worry about your little position. If you're thinking about everything, you're gonna be overwhelmed, and you're gonna sort of be like being all of things. Like, oh, this actor's here. Oh, this location's crazy, whatever. But if you really want to be on set, be kept on set, you have to do your work and just focus on your task for the day. You're gonna find out there's no time to be like just watching things and like you know what I mean, like oh my god, that person's here, oh my god, I'm on this project with them. You eventually have to like snap out of it and just do your work. Otherwise they will replace you just like that. And I've seen it on set, and it's pretty scary actually. But unfortunately, I was one of the people that was still on set. If people see that, the people you work with, they see that you're reliable and stuff like that, they will ask you to come back and work with them. And it's a great way to just keep getting work. You know, you work on this one project, you meet like a bunch of people. Then once that project's done, maybe one of those 10 people you met on the project you just finished, one of those people will call you up for another project, and that's how you kind of keep going throughout the year and stuff like that. And eventually, and then sometimes you might even have like, you might come to the situation where you get like turn things down to work on something else. Like, I can't work on this. I can't help you out. Sorry, I'm already booked for something else. That's happened to me a couple of times, so I was very fortunate to have options. So yeah, that's one topic right there. Another lesson I learned is let's say when you're a boom operator. So this one's especially for the boom operators, sound mixing side of things, but it can apply to any other position on film. And this anticipation, preparation, being proactive. My experience when I'm doing sound on all these different like projects, like especially for student films where nobody gives a shit about sound, everybody's just there for the camera. or the actors, when you're the sound, from my experience, I'm speaking from my experience, nobody really cares about you. I'm not saying like they're not gonna feed you or anything, but like they're not really gonna tell you what to do. You kind of have to figure out what your plan is as everything else is moving. As the people are moving, like when the scene's about to be, when they're building the scene, all the G&E team, the gaffers and electricians, the grips, when they're building up, lighting the sets, the director's talking to actors, the camera is finding their position. Sound, nobody's directing sound what to do. You have to already be anticipating what's about to happen. You have to be prepared. You have to be proactive. You have to be decisive on what you gotta do. Your task, your team. Sometimes it's just you on set. Sometimes sound only has one person on set, and that's a fact. It happens. I mean, camera team has like three, 4 people, and stuff like that. And what I mean, like an example, like when everything is being set up, the camera's finding positions, the director's talking to actors. Your job is, okay, how many actors are going to be in a scene or are going to be in an upcoming shot? Who's talking? Do I have to put up a mic on the actors? If I'm my boom operator, or if I'm booming, where do I have to stand so the camera does not see me? Where can I stand where the boom pole is not making a shadow because of the lights? Once I found my position, are my sound levels great? Like, can I hear them once the actors start talking? You kind of have to figure all that out when the actors get on set and they start rehearsing. When they're rehearsing, when the actors are rehearsing, the cameras doing the blocking and stuff like that, sound has to already be on point, finding the things. Like, practice your boom pole position, adjust the sound levels when the actor is kind of rehearsing their lines and stuff like that, and walk with the actors and with the boom pole when they're rehearsing. So that's so important. Nobody tells you that. I'll tell you right now, when I was studying filmmaking, sound was not really discussed. We had like one lecture on like, here, you should try to get these sound levels and stuff like that. We never really learned about boom poles and like being proactive and stuff like that. I had to learn that stuff either like via YouTube videos or just learn on set. And yeah, it's a scary thing sometimes when you're sound and you're not prepared. Once camera and actors are done blocking, let's say the boom operator or you, the sound mixer, if you're the only person on sound, you did not watch the rehearsal. You did not practice your blocking with the boom pole. And then the director's like, okay guys, we're all set. Camera, you good? Lights are good. Actors, you good? Sound, you guys are good? And you're like, nobody told me what to do. And then like, okay, well, and then now you're wasting time. For me as a sound mixer or just working in the sound department, one of my rules or that I try to keep is I don't want production to wait on me. Nobody has a problem waiting on lighting setup. Nobody has a problem waiting for the camera. Nobody has a problem waiting for the actors. But when sound is causing the wait, everybody panics. It's true. It's like we're like a nuisance. We're like the most annoying thing on set. Honestly, that's what I see. Whether you like it or not. And so I always try to keep that in mind. I don't want them to wait on me. But sometimes they have to. They gotta wait maybe like a minute or two. Just sometimes sound is like the last thing actors see before they get in front of the camera or before a roll starts, a take, because you have to get a laugh and everything. There was this one person who asked me like, do you want to be on camera and a part of the camera team because you get a lot of action? And I'm like, don't forget about sound. Sound, you get a lot of action too, believe it or not. But camera, camera has a lot more creativity because they have all these camera movements and like rack focusing and stuff like that. Sound, maybe on first glance, on the surface, you don't really get that kind of creativity. But you are like a technician. You problem solve there's so many things to solve when you're sound. And that's the thing about sound. You almost never have free time. There's always something to like brainstorm and solve and stuff like that. When there is free time, then it gets really boring. Then you just, hopefully you have another person to talk to. Hopefully you have another sound guy. And when you do, when there's free time, I found on features, and I'm like boom operating, or I'm like a sound assistant, I talk to my sound mixer. I just ask him questions, and there's so much to learn, honestly. And honestly, I think when you're asking questions to your sound mixer, it kind of shows them that you want to be there. You're eager to learn. You know, sometimes when you're not asking questions, I feel like you're not taking advantage of the situation, because these mixers that I got to work with on these features, they have so much more experience than me. I'm there to learn. I want to learn. And yeah, and then it's also a great way to like think about to learn their workflow. I think I've worked with a bunch of different mixers this year, either on like short films or features, and each sound mixer, they have a different way to work. And as a boom operator, I realize there's not one right way to do something. There's so many different ways. Like there's so many different ways to put a lav on, to tackle like a boom post situation. Yeah, there's like I watch interviews on YouTube where sound mixers say they have like 200 different ways to wire an actor with a microphone. So yeah, just talk to your sound mixers. I mean, it could be you could be working with camera, or you're a grip team. Talk to your head of department when you have the chance, when the time is appropriate. Just pick their brain, you know. I mean, why not, you know? So yeah, preparation, proactive anticipation. Be prepared. You never know, and especially I learned. There's been a couple times in the past couple years where I was a sound mixer and my XLR cable was a problem. For example, this year I brought everything I had for this short film, and I forgot to bring my XLR cable. So, but fortunately, I had lav mics, and I had good lav mics that I recently bought. So yeah, that was kind of scary. The whole shoot for this short film, all the audio is from wireless microphones, no boom pole, no boom mic. That was interesting. All because I forgot to bring my XLR cables. I brought everything but the cables, and because of that, I bought a cable bag, just so I always have it on me whenever I have something. I have it packed in my car when I have a project to do. Like, I bought this cable bag, so it has my XLR cables. Yeah, so never again. And there's also like another instance on another short film where my XLR cable was acting really weird, like it was damaged or something. Like when I plugged it to my shotgun mic, it just made this like horrific buzzing sound. Basically, sound was not working for the boom mic, and I only brought one XLR cable. So luckily, somebody on set had some at their house, so they went to go get it. But then while that was happening, that was like 30. I made production wait for 30 minutes. I felt so freaking guilty. But then while that was happening, I actually troubleshooted what was going on, and it wasn't my XLR cables at all. It was something else. But basically, for that project, my lesson was test their equipment before you get on set, and just in case, just have backups of of your equipment. Like I worked with a sound mixer who has 2 of everything, and that actually paid off on set. There were a couple of times there was like a instance or two where that came in handy. He had a backup little thing. So yeah, that's part of the anticipation, preparation, proactive. Yeah, speaking of like watching YouTube videos, when you're not working, yeah, always be learning. Like, in addition to just asking questions, watch YouTube videos. I would say once I worked on my first feature in the sound department, I just wanted to learn so much. And on YouTube, there's so much resources to consume, especially in the sound department. And I realized when you watch like cinematography videos or camera videos, those videos have so much views, but when it comes to like sound department stuff, like sound specific things, it's like maybe like 1,000 views, 100 views. But when I watch those videos, especially with the subjects who are in those videos, it's absolutely valuable. It's priceless information. Like literally, you're getting advice from professional Hollywood sound department crew members, people that have worked on like big budget projects, and I'm just watching, like I'm just writing down notes and like and stuff like that, and just trying to remember and adding it to my favorites list on YouTube. And for me personally, if you're in the sound department, some channels that I would recommend are Sound Speeds. And that channel is run by a guy who it's run by a professional Hollywood boomer. Well, I think he's in Atlanta, Georgia, but he works on big budget. He works on Hollywood movies, like Fear 7, Spider-Man: Homecoming, Walking Dead. And on his downtime, he makes videos on YouTube, just like advice and stuff like that. Oh yeah, Sound Speeds. Another Curtis Judd. He he's like an audio sound reviewer, or he has a lot of like review videos on his YouTube, like just comparing mics, how they sound, lav mics, boom pose, boom mics. Just a great resource, just on equipment. And there's a couple I would recommend, and there's also this one, Ursa. Ursa is like a company for like sound related company. For like just things that will help you like put mics on actors, and they have great interviews with professional sound mixers, just on how they tackle their projects and stuff like that. Just advice. You get videos on how their workflow is, what they bring on set, their carts. Another channel is Matt Price. This is some sound mixer who actually does interviews with all these professional mixers and boom operators, sound utility, sound designers, post-production people. These like 2-hour-long videos. Oh my, invaluable advice. Just such a great resource, and he has like all these like, yeah, just check them out, especially if you're interested in sound and stuff like that. And yeah, so much information to learn on YouTube. I'm sure it applies for all the different positions on filmmaking as well. Speaking of like, the other positions, the other departments, when you're on set, one thing something I learned on set is be a team player, not just with your own department, but with the other teams as well. So working as a boom operator assistant, one of the best things, when I was a sound assistant for this feature, my sound mixer, he told me it's not common for the camera team to be nice to the sound team. That's what he told me, and I was like, wait, what? Are you serious? Because usually on student projects, everybody's usually pretty cool to each other, and but on this one, there's this one specific feature project where I was the boom operator, and we had to do this like long take. I think it was like this 2-3 minute long take where the Steadicam had like chased after this actress, like going inside the house, like entering the house through the door, and then they see something, and then they have to run out to the back of the house, and then they're running around, and the steady cam operator had to chase after this actress, and because I was the boom operator, I had to chase after the actress too. And so it was the steady cam operator, me, the boom operator, and then we also had this one grip. He was the dolly grip, and he also ran with us. He basically ran with the camera operator just to like spot him. And there's a part where, and then everybody else in the crew is like hiding in the house because they can't be in frame of the camera, because the camera is like 360, so like 360 view. Once the actress runs out to the back of the house, there's a pool, and there's a part where like the actress has to run to this narrow section of the back, and it's like this wall, and then there's a pool. So basically, if one wrong step, the steady cam operator, he can fall into the pool, and I can also fall into the pool. I have to be careful because the wall is actually a glass window and there's reflections, so I kind of have like final position. I have to be very careful. And the cool thing is, we kind of rehearsed this like maybe a few times, and the first time the steady cam operator, he saw me because there's a part where we have to like rotate. And then I was like, oh shit, he can see me. Oh shit. And then I kind of corrected my position. Oh shit, my shadow. And then after that shadow part happened, and then me and frame happened, we both just looked at each other, and then we kind of like, okay, we know what to do now. So then the next take, we knew what to do, and then we kind of fixed it. And then the dolly grip is there to help me and him too. So that was great. That steady cam operator was great because we were cool with each other. And this was like midway, I think we're like 2 weeks into shooting or something. So me and him, we were already cool. He was always looking out for me throughout the whole production. Like if I'm in frame, he would kind of tell me, he would just look at me and stuff like that. Super, super cool guy. And but then during that pool part, when it gets narrow, when the actress is in a narrow section, the dolly grip, he will kind of like tap the back of the camera operator, and then he will also watch me as well. And also super, super cool guy, the dolly grip. Me and him got to like work together on a lot of like really, really long camera shots, and where we had to like be in sync with each other, especially with these dolly shots where I had to like hold the boom pole for like 6 minutes or 5 minutes or something. I had to be like a ninja around this guy. Best project I ever worked on. When it comes out, I'll talk about it. But yeah, the camera team for this is good. This is cool. Like they will look out for me during rehearsals. Like Morgan, you're in frame. Okay, you're good, and stuff like that. First AC, there's like a time where he had to like focus, and there's like 5 people on in frame, and they're all talking, and whenever each of them talk, the director wanted the camera focused on that one person talking. So because he couldn't hear, he didn't know who was talking. There's like a different room. I had my headphones on, and I knew, oh shit, he needs audio. So I just grabbed my headphones, and I'm standing right behind him, and just put it on him. And he just kept doing his job. And after the take was done, he just looked at me. He's like, dude, thank you, Morgan, and stuff like that. And you gotta be a team player. You can't forget about the rest of the team. Wardrobe, G&E. If G&E is cool with you, they will help you out. Like if you're making a shadow, or you're being caught in reflection, they can actually block out that stuff for you if there's time. Apple boxes, they'll reserve one for you. All this stuff that I'm talking was from this one specific project, and amazing project. I love to work on this project, and yeah, and that was a great project. And I actually learned so much as a boom operator on this one, and my standard for the position has grown so much. So like, whenever I like taking this experience I had on these features, when I work on a student project, I try to hold that same standard, and I try to represent myself just on that standard of like work on these features. So maybe on a student project, if it's like sort of like an amateur hour or whatever, like maybe they don't have that much experience, at the very least, I'll try to like represent being professional, at least on the sound department side of things. I mean, I'm not gonna tell camera what to do. I'm not gonna tell them how to do their job, but at the very least, I just, my intention is, I don't want them to worry about sound. I know that I don't have to be. I know that I can't be in frame. I gotta be on top of things when it comes to like miking the actors, and stuff like that. So yeah, that's the one. That's that one top. I just focus on work. Show them be a team player. Get to know the other departments. And then I would say the fifth thing that I'd like to talk about is just seeking out work, right? Finding the work. I did mention early in this video. Networking is one thing. Just meeting people, especially when you're in school. If you're cool to work with, if you're reliable, people will ask you to come back. I worked on 17 different projects this year. 14 of the 17 different projects that I worked on this year were from referrals or people that I already knew that asked me to help them out. 14 of 17 projects. So they contacted me like, hey Morgan, do you want to help out on this project? I'm very, very lucky to have that. And then 14 of 17. So there's 3 projects where, well, what's up with those? Those projects I had to go chase after. And then you might be wondering, well, what did you do to find those projects? Craigslist, Facebook, those 2 avenues. Just kind of be careful with Craigslist. I've heard some bad stories. I haven't experienced horror stories, but like as in like I show up to his location and I feel like I'm gonna get kidnapped or something. No. Some of the Craigslist, I think I got 2 Craigslist jobs this year. One of them was the best project I've ever had. Was a feature. I was just very, very lucky to land. And I did find out after we were deep into production. I asked the sound mixer, so what made you decide to have me on your project? Basically, he was kind of like, you didn't strike any red flags when I did the interview with you. Yeah, basically, I kind of answered this ad on Craigslist, and then we contacted each other, and he basically told me he was waiting for me to light up a red flag. Then he would turn me down. I would have lost the position. But he said I seemed like a trustworthy person, and then luckily everything went pretty good on production, and it was the best project I ever worked on. And then the other project was yeah, I don't know, it was okay. They clearly needed help, and sometimes I would say maybe not always the case, but like if they're looking for like people on Craigslist, it's like maybe they don't have either a lot of experience or they don't have the connections, or it could be like a last minute thing, right? Last minute replacement. But for this particular project, this other Craigslist gig I got, it was a pretty rough project. But I showed up, I did my thing, and then there were a few other crew members on that set who were also like sort of like Craigslist and stuff like that. Dude, one guy came from San Diego for this project, which is crazy, and they didn't have experience on the position that they were on, or they were there to learn. But it was pretty rough. That said, even though it was rough, there was still stuff for me to learn. There's always something to learn, even good project or a bad project. What are some of the things you should be doing? What's something you shouldn't be doing, and stuff like that. Again, you have to be a team player on all these different projects. I mentioned Facebook. Yeah, amazing project. This was such a crazy ass project that I landed. I just found out about Facebook just not too long ago, month or 2 ago, and then there's so many different projects on Facebook, and you can also like buy gear. Like I bought some audio equipment on from Facebook. Sennheiser G4s, like these wireless systems, wireless mics. Bought them used, saved myself like a few $100s. So I used that to like get other equipment. So yeah, those are like some of the places you can go look at and find jobs. Is there anything I want to talk about? Okay, that aside, I got to work on a bunch of different projects this year, and I'm really, really looking forward to seeing them being completed in 2022. I know there's one short film that's done. I did get to see it, but now they're gonna be submitting it to film festivals. There's another one that's already made it to 3 festivals, which is crazy because this particular short film recording on set was so tough, especially for sound, because we had these like fluorescent lights. Hopefully, I don't know if anyone's gonna hear, if anyone from the project's hearing this, but we had these like fluorescent lights. There was just like two nights of shooting, or basically like overnight, two of these, and sound was rough. It was rough for sound. Like I showed them like, hey, you guys hear that humming sound? And they're like, oh shit, that's bad for sound, right? I'm like, yeah. But I don't know what happened, but they pulled it off and it made it to 3 film festivals, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm gonna try to make it to the 3rd film festival just to see it on the big screen, because I'm sure that's gonna be a pretty cool experience. And I got that project because I worked with them a while back, a couple years back, and I don't know where 2021 they're like, hey, do you want to work again? I'm like, yeah, sure. And I actually ended up from this project. I actually got another gig as well, like a commercial gig. Yeah, again, networking. Just if you're cool with people, they will call you back as long if you're good. If you're good. I mean, I don't want to say good, but like if you're just at least a decent person to work with, you know. And then there's a feature. As far as I know, it has a. It's making its world premiere in February in Berlin, which is crazy. Berlin International Film Festival, and that festival is considered to be one of the big 3. So there's that, the Berlin, the Venice Film Festival, and then there's the Cannes Film Festival. So there's one feature that I got to be on is in the Berlin Festival. I want to see what happens. I want to see that project because oh my god. Hopefully it turns out well. But anyways, just the experience alone, it's my proudest project that I've ever been on. To date. I mean, maybe there's some student projects, some short films that I hold in high regard just because of the people that I got to work on. But there's some feature that's in the Berlin Festival. So rewarding. Such a great team. Seriously, a great team. But that being said, it was also really, really tough. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Yeah, some of the biggest lessons I learned on set. So aside from the 5 topics I got to work on, some of the like a couple lessons is have thick skin. You know, you might do something wrong on set, but don't just immediately give up and cower and mentally break. You know, take that hit and keep moving. Just do your job and just move on. Like I'll share this one quick anecdote. Maybe one of the scariest moments of ever doing sound, just in filmmaking in general. So basically, what happened was the actors, their microphone was actually at the trailer. They forgot to bring it on set. When we found out, I had to go get the microphone. I had to go to the trailer, but it wasn't just a walking distance. We had to take a van to get there. So it was like a few minutes, and you know what this means, right? Sound. Everybody was waiting for sound. Everybody was ready. Camera was ready to shoot. Directors just waiting for me. Directors just waiting to roll action. But now in this situation, everybody's waiting for me to go get the microphone at the trailers, and that was a scary thing. One of the PAs, this amazing PA, was right there, and they knew the situation, and they knew we had to get a freaking van. We had to get the shuttle, call the shuttle, get Morgan on the shuttle, and so he can immediately go get the transmitter microphones and so he can come back ASAP. A bad PA would have been not paying attention, would have been dozing off on their phone, but this PA was on point, knew what they were doing, was listening, and was being proactive. So yeah, shout outs to the great PAs out there. That was one of the toughest moments of my filmmaking journey. Just that, and once I came back, we put the mic on the actor, and then they did the scene. But after that scene was over, or even just the end of the night, the mixer, we talked. I talked to the mixer, and we had a real talk. It's a lesson I will never forget. Just take those hits and learn. Otherwise, if I would have broke and given up, I could have easily quit or something. Or maybe the sound mixer was like, Morgan doesn't have what it takes. So that's one lesson right there. I mean, this could apply to any filmmaking department. You gotta have thick skin. And that's also an example, just showing that you want to be there. Yeah, that's what's another lesson. I mean, when I'm taking lessons, I'm just thinking of like tough things. I guess another lesson was like the XLR cables. Just making sure. Yeah, when you make a mistake, just keep a mental note and try not to let it happen again in the future. Actually, I'll let you know something that I do on set that I try to do in all my projects. Give me a second. Something that I do on set is I keep a journal with me. This little journal, and whenever maybe there's like a situation, or like somebody tells me something really really useful that I want to remember, instead of taking out my phone and writing it on my memo or something, it might look bad, right? Let's say the producer kind of glances at my direction, it's like, dude, Morgan's on his phone, or the director, right? It's gonna look bad on you. Like, isn't it like something about how like Tarantino doesn't let people have phones on his set? So what I do is I have a journal on me, and if somebody tells me something cool, or if I notice a scenario on set that I find is like there's something there to learn, I write it down on my journal. Like, this is my 2021 journal, like all these notes of my on-set experiences and stuff like that. So this is like a ton of knowledge. It's like a year. This is like a year of knowledge right here. I have like from February of 2021 to August right here. But then I also have another journal right here as well. So like two journals right here, just for 2021. Oh yeah, I mean, sometimes I just write things down like okay, if I'm a boom operating and like we need like specific Foley sounds. Let's say we did a scene where it's kind of noisy, but like, first CD is like, all right, Morgan, you and the sound mixer, you guys gotta pick up you guys gotta get footsteps. You gotta get the sound of the glass being put on the table. I'll write it down, So once we finish that scene, or at the end of the day, we go record those scenes. We record the sound effects and stuff like that. Or even like my sound mixer, I think we were having lunch, and he's telling me about like hot sauce, and then I'm like, oh shit, I like hot sauce, and because we're both fans of Hot Ones, that YouTube show. So he gives me some recommendations on different hot sauces, and and I just wrote it down, Like, for example, here's like Los Calientes. That's one of the hot sauces he recommended to me, my sound mixer. The green one is my favorite hot sauce that I've ever had. I will admit, I don't really look back on it, but I'm sure if I do, I'm gonna be like, oh shoot, great, this is great stuff, stuff like that. Because before doing this, I did write it in my phone sometimes if I don't have it on me in the journal, because this means you have to carry it on you, and sometimes you don't have room on your pockets or whatever. So is there anything else I want to share? As of recording this, it's December 31st, 2021. I'm very fortunate to already have 2 projects booked in 2022. One in January, one in February. Very, very fortunate, and I want to keep that going. Oh yeah, and just we're looking forward to that. Looking forward to working with other people. Hopefully, some people that I haven't worked with in a long time, and also just watching the movies that I've got to work on. I know there are some people who don't really want to see what they've worked on, but I'm curious. I mean, I consider myself to be like a beginner on all this stuff. This is still really cool to me, and because I don't have control in the edit room, my job is just be on set and help record the audio, and then once that happens, I move on. I'm either at home or I move on to a different project. Whatever they do with the edit, I have no idea. So I want to see how it sounds. Hopefully it sounds good, I don't know. I mean, I was gonna say, like, is it real? Like, if someone watches a movie, like, oh man, it actually sounds pretty good. Who mixed this? Who's the boom op? And then I don't know. Maybe they might see my name. Because I will say this: working in sound in 2021, I find myself going to IMDb and looking at who did the audio, who is the sound mixer, who's the boom op, who's the sound utility, sound assistant, and sound utility as in, like, you have the sound mixer who's there to adjust the levels and bring on the equipment. The boom operator is there to, like, hold the boom pole. I mean, honestly, boom operator is so freaking hard. They're sort of like they represent the sound department on set because they're always there in the action. Like, camera's there, but the boom operator is also there. You're there right with the actor. You're right there up close with them. And the sound mixer is like, they're probably chilling in the corner, or I mean, I don't know. Everyone works differently. And then the sound utility is also so freaking useful. They're there for the mics, the labs. They're doing everything that the boom operator and the sound mixer can't do. They're there to, like, put carpets. Honestly, it's having a 3-person sound team would be amazing. And I've had a chance to do all 3 of those positions. I would say, sound assistant is like a utility, and it's pretty crazy, honestly, being on a sound team. I really like it. It's a lot of problem solving. It can be really hard, but it's also really, really fast paced. You get a lot of action, and you basically have to be extremely, extremely proactive. Again, you gotta be proactive. If I'm a sound mixer and my boom operator has not watched the rehearsals, has not done anything, if camera's already ready and they're about to ready to shoot, that's the thing. Working on a lot of these projects, like student projects and features, there's no rehearsal from my experience. Once everything's set, they just start shooting, or they're gonna shoot the rehearsal, and then see, like when I said earlier, use the rehearsal for the boom operator uses the rehearsal to, like, get his or her precision, be prepared for what's gonna happen before they start rolling the camera. But a lot of the times they don't rehearse. They're just gonna shoot. And if you're the boom op, you better be on set already. Yeah, and you're basically like making an educated guess on what's about to happen. As a sound mixer, you don't want to be like, hey, have you found a position yet? And then boom operator's like, no. Then that means either you have to get off your chair as a sound mixer, and then you have to, like, find it for them, or you have to wait for the boom op to find it and stuff like that. And then if that's happening, then everybody else is gonna notice that you guys are not prepared. Either the sound mixer is not by his table, by his chair, getting ready to record, or the boom operator is, like, still fiddling, waiting for his position. Either way, yeah, it looks really unprofessional. So sound is difficult, and that's not even. I have not even mentioned, like, all the background noise that comes, like, helicopters, the refrigerator's on, there's a dog barking in the backyard, there's people outside talking, ice cream trucks rolling through, motorcycle. That's even more of a problem. Sound is difficult. It's rewarding. It's really fun, honestly, but it's also really, really hard. This is a pretty long podcast, but hopefully there's, like, a ton of knowledge right here that's useful for if you're into filmmaking, or if you just want to get my perspective on things as, like, a beginner, entry level sound recorders, production mixer, boom operator. Yeah, I would consider myself like an entry level. So hopefully some of this information kind of helps you or gives you a bit of an insight. Again, I'm really looking forward to 2022 in terms of, like, filmmaking stuff. Hopefully the pandemic gets better and stuff like that. Yeah, and that's something I didn't address. Like, has the pandemic made our jobs harder? Maybe. I mean, long story short, we're still able to do it, but it is difficult because sometimes people are kind of scared to get mic'd up and stuff like that. And then, you kind of like wipe down all your equipment every time, especially you're a lot of actors and you don't have like a small number of microphones, and you have like maybe a bunch of actors, so you gotta reuse these different microphones. You gotta like take one out, put on another actor. You gotta have to wipe down that microphone, and that takes time. That's just more time for sound to deal with. But yeah, this podcast episode is getting pretty long. I'm gonna end it right here. If you made it this far, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts. If there's anything you want to know, any specific questions, contact me or leave a comment. Yeah, that's about it. See you guys next time. You can follow me on social media. I'm just gonna plug it. Follow me on social media, Morgan_Chan on Instagram or Morgan Chan on Twitter. I'll have those links in the description below. One of my resolutions for the new year 2022 is bring back this podcast. Just have more videos of just me spewing my thoughts and stuff. And hopefully if I work more, I'll have more things to share on the filmmaking side of things if you guys are interested. And yeah, that's it. With that being said, Happy New Year. Stay safe. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care.